Hey, welcome back, y'all. I have not done an episode like this in I don't know how long. But for those of y'all who have been around for a while, you already know around my birthday, I do kind of like a birthday episode. So first things first, right? Thank you so much for tuning in. To all my new listeners, man, I appreciate you stopping by. And to all of my day 1 to 85, 213, whatever week you came in and decided to keep listening, I genuinely appreciate y'all. So listen, my birthday was June 27th, right? Your girl is 46 now, which is crazy. And I apologize for the, lapse in episodes the past few weeks. I really have been like ripping and running and going nonstop. I want to say the past 3 weeks. And that's why you haven't gotten an episode from me. And that's why this birthday episode is late also, because listen,
at the time of this recording,
it's July 4th, right? And I am at home. This is the first day in weeks that I have been able to just not have to leave the house. And not because I couldn't go anywhere, because I was invited a few different places, but I'm tired. There has just been so much that has happened in the last few weeks, and then we'll just kind of go in order. So 2 weeks ago I got baptized, y'all. Yes. And if you're not new to this show, you know my relationship with the Lord is not a new thing. But for all my new people, 19 years ago in June actually is when I fully surrendered my life to the Lord. I had kind of grown up in church as a teenager. Well, actually, my parents used to send me and my brother to church when we were kids, but, got quote unquote saved as a teenager, but was still doing my own thing. And as I'm heading into this divorce, I'm like, okay, Lord, I'm going to try it your way and just see if I like it. And then if I don't, I'm going to go back to doing my own thing. And here we are 19 years later. And 2.5 years ago, the Lord really planted the seed to get baptized. And so many wild things have happened in the last 2 years or whatever, or 2.5 years since that, especially my bio dad passed away. It'll be 2 years on July 10th. So today has been a very interesting day because the girl's dad, my ex-husband, his death anniversary was June 29th. So that's 2 days after my birthday. And then 6 days from now is my bio dad's death anniversary. So it's been very, very interesting because my baptism / spiritual birthday was June 20th. Then my physical birthday is June 27th. So lots of celebration. I'm telling you, like I said, I've been going nonstop with stuff the last 2 to 3 weeks. I can't remember. But with that, my birthday weekend was literally, I was doing so many things. And it's funny because none of the things were, I won't say none. Most of the things were not even related. They weren't birthday plans. So on my birthday, I had a baby shower, and then my friend's son, we share a birthday. So his third birthday party, a graduation party. Then I went to my mom's house for a little bit, and then I had dinner with my brother and his wife and kids. But the thing about that dinner is, while they did celebrate my birthday, the dinner was really just so we could talk through. They want me to do my niece's senior picture, so just kind of talking through that. So we just happened to schedule it on my birthday, but it made for a really long day. And then Father's Day was the next day. So when we have events at work in that way, I'm the photo booth photographer if there's a photo booth. So then there's the editing of photos and all. So it was just like a long work day. Then I have Sunday tasks that I usually do anyway to close out whatever. So it was just like a really long weekend. Mind you, leading up to my baptism, I had the most intense spiritual warfare that I have had in I don't know how long. Like it was, listen, there was a day where I was like, should I even get baptized? Because like, what is going on? It was crazy. Like I'm talking bringing up childhood trauma and asking the Lord why he didn't protect me. And these are questions I've never even brought to his attention before in that manner. It was really, really wild. Then I get baptized. And then, next weekend is my birthday weekend. And yeah, so it's just been a lot of stuff. But man, 45, what a year. Good Lord. The Lord did so much healing, so much. Like I am not about to have no super duper long episode going in depth in all the things that the Lord did in as I was 45. But what I can say is my baptism really just wow. Yeah. If you're not new, and I'm not editing that out either, this episode is going to be, old school. You get what I give you and it just is what it is. I just probably won't have it be super long, but my baptism really was kind of like it was what it actually is. It was the public declaration of like the transformation that the Lord has done in my life. And I'm trying to tell y'all, it has not been business as usual since getting baptized 2 weeks ago. Like I genuinely got up out of that water. First of all, shot up out of that water like crazy high. Like I didn't even know I don't do things like that. It was just wild. It was like I jumped on a spring and just jumped up and genuinely felt different and have continued to feel different and have continued to feel like the Lord, have continued to basically feel like the things that I was broken free of, especially that week leading up to it, that all of that and whatever was just left at the bottom of that lake. So it was just such a, amazing day. My family was there. That really meant a lot to me. Like my kids were all there, my grandson, my mom, my brother and his wife and kids, 2 of my cousins and my aunt and uncle drove in from Kansas City. So it wasn't all of my actually it was all of my immediate family because my kids were there and my grandson, but siblings, 2 of my siblings weren't there and one of my cousins, and then my granny lives in New Jersey, so she couldn't be there, but still that was enough. But I knew I would be celebrated regardless because if you don't know, I work for a church, so I'm a creative project manager at the church that I go to. And so with that, I knew I'd be celebrated regardless by the people that I work with / serve with / they just go to the church. So like, it was really cool, this colliding of worlds that are usually never together, because I'm pretty much with my work / church family a lot because you spend the most time with the people you work with typically. And then one of my roommates works there too, you know what I mean? And then my friends go to that church, and so I have other friends, but you know what I mean, spend the most time with them. My family, however, aside from my kids, sometimes my family's never there because they go to different churches and stuff like that. So what I took away from that really is how loved and surrounded I am. And I say that because my family was really it really meant a lot to them, the ways that my church family celebrated me when I got baptized. And then my church family, it really meant a lot to them that all of my family showed up and stood on the shore as soon as I hit the water. And there's this picture that one of the photographers took of, you just see all of my family lined up, phones up so they can get video and whatnot. My son got the best video of me getting baptized, so that was great. But it's just really means a lot to me that it meant a lot to each of those groups that I was loved and celebrated. And because of that, I had the biggest cheering section. And it's not about that, right? But it was just, sometimes you don't realize how loved you are until you actually see it. Mind you, there were a lot of people from, whatever that weren't there that I know that were either out of town or whatever that typically would have been there. So it was just, such a great day. Birthday. My mentor got me let's back up. The day before, so on the 26th, it was a Friday. I'm off on Fridays. I went to my mentor's house. They have a pool. And so we did water aerobics, ate. She had gifts for me and really just spent the day there just chilling and whatever. And so that was a great way to go into my birthday weekend out of a state of rest, because then when I was running the next day, I had my time that was really about me. But here's the thing. My mentor got me a little tiara and sash that said, the sash said happy birthday and the tiara said it's my birthday. And I wore that all day, right? So at the baby shower, they sang happy birthday to me. That was super sweet. And the hosts or whatever, they were like, oh, this is your surprise party, pretending, because they knew it was my birthday. And then at the graduation party that I was at, they sang happy birthday to me before I left. At the birthday party that I went to, even strangers, because this was in a public place, said happy birthday. Y'all, I went to Walmart and one of the cashiers or employees or whatever, she sang happy birthday to me. I went to Ross, the cashier said happy birthday to me. And even in Walmart, random people said happy birthday because I had my sash and tiara. So I just felt so loved all day. And my birthday really means a lot to me because I literally just told you the tragedies that then are kind of happening, or they already happened, but you know what I mean, after my birthday. So I really try to, I make everything in June. Anything good that happens in June is this is my birthday thing. So we had a family dinner, me and my kids, at the beginning of June. And that really meant a lot to me because I have roommates. And so while my kids can come over and I wouldn't have a family dinner with them here because I would want them to feel like I'll do that when I get my own place, right? Which that's a life update because, I haven't done an episode like this in a minute. So I feel like the last time I really just got on the mic like this, me and Kayliana had a place together. Our lease was a year, and we knew that going into it. And we had even said we were just going to try that for a year. She just kind of needed a good transition period or whatever. She's in her own place now. I have never lived alone, y'all. I lived alone for a week after she moved out, and I was like, I don't know. And even now I'm back and forth. There are times when I'm like, man, I wish I had my own place so I could have my own rhythms. But when I tell y'all it's way cheaper and I have a great setup here, I have my own space within this house, and it's a big enough house that even when we're all home, it doesn't feel like anything. And I have the basement, and it's not it's a nice basement, right? And I have my own bathroom down here and whatever, garage. I'm not living bad, living with people. But there are times when I'm like, man, I kind of want my own place. But then I've never lived alone. And so when she moved out, I was kind of like, I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know if I like this. But yeah, she's in her own place with my grandson. And so, she actually is the one who hosts the family dinner because she's the only one who lives in her own place. Everyone else lives with someone. And so, we just want to be able to just, focus on us, do us, whatever, not feel like we're, impeding on anybody. At least that's how I think here. And so with that, she hosted a family dinner at the beginning of June. So I was like, at some point I was like, it just really means so much to me that y'all threw this birthday party for me. That's how I am though. Anything in June that's good that's happened. We have this work dinner, and I said it was my birthday dinner from work. Why? I just feel like, and I started this really after the girl's dad was killed, because I was celebrating my birthday still at the time that I got the call. And so Father's Day was the last time we saw him. And Father's Day is different because I don't have my bio dad anymore. And I actually was like, reading through text messages earlier and just, it's just an interesting time. So like June is such a weird month. Like now there's 2 birthday celebrations, because the thing about it is I surrendered my life in June of 2007, but I can't remember for the life of me what date it was. I just know it was before my birthday. And so now that I have an actual date with my baptism, I'm just going to make June 20th my official spiritual birthday, so I at least have a date associated with it. And so with that, it's just such an interesting thing. It's like celebrating life basically for a week. Like I get a birthday week for real, y'all. Why? Because my spiritual birthday and my physical birthday are literally a week apart. You can't tell me that that's not meaning that I should have an actual birthday week, right? But then it's like 2 days after my physical birthday we start thinking about death. So the girl's dad was killed on the 29th. My dad died on July 10th. And so it's just I ain't cutting that out either. And so it's just such a, I don't know, it's such a weird thing. And so I really do try to like celebrate as much as I can and just make everything a celebration in June, like for that reason. And so, yeah, though, so much growth, so much like, and growth is painful, right? Especially when the Lord starts revealing to you the raggediness in your own heart and how you he's kind of revealed to me like, hey, this is the reason why you've kind of kept going around certain mountains. And I'm like, ouch. And if you listen to the way that I do my episodes now, the style is different, but the intent is still there. I'm telling y'all and talking from a place of things that I have gone through, but I'm doing it in the way that I'm doing it because I just want to be more focused. When I get on here like this, as you can tell, my mind kind of will ping pong around, and for certain topics, I've just wanted to be more focused, so that's how I've shifted. But as y'all already know, who ain't new, this is my show, and I'm gonna do what I want. So, like you see right now, boom, we doing an old school throwback episode. We're not doing away with them. It's just, it depends what I'm gonna talk about. And the thing about it too is, I had to figure out, I'm a rhythms person. Goodness. Y'all know that who have known me. I've said on here so many times how many times I'm trying to establish rhythms for what I'm doing. And it has been really interesting being here trying to figure out rhythms for recording, because it's like, so I have the basement, right? The basement has a bedroom. Of course, there's a door and all that. And then it has like a living room / office area. And that's where like my work computer and just monitors and all that for when I work from home. And then my podcast equipment. And so that's where I would record. And I would want it to be that no one's in the house when I'm recording, because it's like, I don't care if you listen later, but I don't want you to hear it while I'm recording it. For whatever reasons, that's just weird to me. But not having like a door that I could close to the basement, whatever I say could travel up into the living room, or I don't know, you know what I mean? So like, I've really been like, well, I'm only gonna record when nobody's home. Well, that's been just an interesting thing. And so finally, what I decided is I am going to just bring the equipment in my room and close the door, and then I can record whenever I want. Because what I don't want anymore, speaking of rhythms, I need there to be a day where I don't touch my podcast or computer or anything, any sort of anything. And that needs to be Fridays, because that's my day off. So I want Fridays to be, I'm not recording, I'm not having to edit, I'm not having to whatever. And so I had to just really think through, okay, what's more important? Is it more important that I record when nobody's home, but then sometimes people might be home because like me and one of my roommates, we have the same work schedule. So the only reason she's typically gone on Fridays is because she has a cabin. So she'll go off to her cabin, and then our other roommate works on Fridays. So like if my one roommate chooses to stay home, then it's like we're both in the house, and it's not a bad thing, but like I said, I don't want whatever. And so now that I've made that decision, I feel like we'll have just I feel like even more variety in episodes, because it might be that something's just on my heart. Y'all remember when I used to do that? I think I called them, was it Closet Chronicles? I don't even know. That actually sounds kind of crazy. But when I used to do those episodes where it literally be like, this is like what's going on right now. It'd be like a bonus episode. We might get back to that. You know what I'm saying? But with that, let's talk about the rebrand, because y'all, I know y'all noticed that. And I haven't rebranded my show in years. Like in the beginning, I had like, I think 2 different brands up front before I landed on the logo and stuff that I had for years. But I don't know, like as I've just continued to grow and kind of shifting different things, like I don't know if you're aware, I've turned this podcast, like these episodes, into blogs. Now I don't know if this one will be a blog, although maybe, but I definitely turned the other ones that are more like, I guess, teaching episodes, I've turned those into blogs. And so then with that, you want to put different content out to give people value add, whether they actually read the blog or not, and just different things. And so then when I started doing that and created that brand, I was like, well, this just feels so different, and I need to upgrade and rebrand my podcast. I don't want to say upgrade, I'll say rebrand, just for whatever. And so it's not even like it was something that I was like, oh, I'm gonna do this. It literally was over the course of, I want to say, a week of just, this is what makes sense for kind of it to all be cohesive. And so with that, yeah, you know, it's been a year of growth. It's been a year of a lot of things, but as y'all can see, I'm way more consistent. Like now that we've established this new thing, I don't really feel like I'll be off track again. But even if I am, it's not going to be, this was a couple weeks, you know what I mean? It's not going to be months and whatever where y'all think I quit. And no, this is a therapeutic creative outlet for me. And I'm seeing how important it is for me to create in different ways. Y'all, new skill unlocked. Listen, I lead the environments team at work now. That's part of one of the things that I do. And so we do different lobby installs and whatnot. And I yesterday actually learned how to do balloon arches. And so I'm adding balloon artists to my resume. And it's just, yeah, I need to have a creative outlet, and this really is a therapeutic creative outlet, and writing too. So it's like so much has changed, but not, you know what I mean? Like all of the change is internal. I'm still on the Snatched 40s journey. Perimenopause is wild. Like it's so wild. It is probably the most ghetto thing I have ever gone through. But one thing about me is I'm going to figure out ways on how to make it work. So one of the things, I'll tell you the supplements that I'm taking, and then I'm going to get up out of here in case, you know, you're going through it, whatever. But I will give this disclaimer. I have not like gotten my hormones tested and done all that. I'm not opposed to it. I haven't done that. And so like, as I'm prayerfully taking supplements and doing research, I'm really trying to focus on taking things like vitamins or whatever, or my diet, exercise, all of that play a factor in this, right? I'm really trying to focus on things that whether I was in perimenopause or not, this vitamin would be helpful. However, it is also helpful towards this side effect of perimenopause. So that's the disclaimer. So I'll give them to you in the order in which I've added them, and I'll just kind of talk a little bit about the journey of how I got to where I'm at. So one, I started taking vitamin D and K2 drops way before, but they are something that help with perimenopause. I don't remember exactly what, so do your research. And also, I'm just telling you what's helpful to me. Could be helpful to you. It might not. Maybe you do need to go see a doctor and have your hormones tested and do hormone therapy and all that. I don't feel like I need to do that, and so I'm not. If anything changes with that, I'll let y'all know, right? So vitamin D and K2 drops, it's like a liquid form. I take 4 to 6 of those every morning. The jar that I got from my gym is $23 and it's lasted me like so long. So there's that. Then I started taking magnesium. Now I take the magnesium Glycinate, I think is what it's called. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'll put stuff in the episode notes or whatever. But I take the magnesium G, we'll just call it that. It's helpful with, I take it at night, and it's helpful with helping me get to sleep. And it's also helpful with just kind of overall anxiety and stress. I know it has other whatever, but we talking about how it's helpful with perimenopause for me or whatever, right? So that was cool for a while. That plus, trying to eat more protein, being mindful of sugary foods and just whatever, which I was already on that journey, so there wasn't much of a shift there. Strength training is super helpful. And when I do not work out, I do feel it because it's just helpful, one, in general, but it is one of the things they specifically mention as helpful with perimenopause. So those are the things. Drinking water, there are things that they're going to be helpful regardless. Then a few months ago, I don't even know, it got rough. I don't know what the heck was going on, but my mood was just crazy. I just felt crazy. I felt fatigued. I felt really foggy brained and all this stuff. And I didn't know what was going on. So then I just I couldn't go to the gym, because even then when I would work out, I'd feel lightheaded, and I was just really trying to figure out what was going on. And so that actually kind of caused a little bit of a setback in my journey. I actually gained, I want to say 6 or 7 pounds, I think. And that's fine, because I'm just what is going on? I know I'm fighting against perimenopause in general, but I need to figure out what the heck is happening. So I started to care less about what I ate and, whatever. Really wasn't even drinking water like I was supposed to. It was rough, but it was just, I don't know, I can't even explain it, but I just genuinely felt like I was losing my mind. And I talked to a nurse friend of mine, and she told me about, I saw something on Instagram first, Primal Queen or something, which is beef organ supplements. So then I started doing a little bit of research, because it was specifically targeted towards perimenopause. I don't know, when things be just viral all of a sudden and I ain't never seen you, and now everybody all of a sudden talk about them and taking it forever, it's giving scam, right? Because there are going to be scammy supplements out there as people try to ride the wave of what's popular or whatever. And so I just kind of waited and just continued to pray, because also this stuff can get expensive. So I'm not trying to just take any and everything just to be taking it. And I only want to take what I actually need and what's going to be helpful. And so with that, I have a lot of nurse friends, and I have one in particular who's always been really health conscious. So I would trust what she recommends. She didn't directly recommend it to me initially. Another mutual friend of ours did, but said that she had recommended it to her, and it's a specific brand. It's I believe it's Heart and Soil, yeah. beef organ supplements. I'll put all this information in the episode notes. So I started taking that maybe a month ago, and within a week, I started feeling like less fatigued, less hungry. That was the thing too, y'all. Like, I was just so freaking hungry, and you gotta eat when you're hungry, right? So like, I don't know, it was weird. Like, I was just so hungry, and also just feeling lethargic, and also feeling really foggy brained, and it was just rough. My emotions were all over the place too. So I'm like wanting to crash out on people, or maybe wanting to cry and not even really understanding why. It was wild, y'all, because I've always been pretty well able to just maintain whatever, and I really couldn't. It was tough. So I started taking those, I want to say a month ago. And like I said, and you're supposed to, I think it's called wean on. I like to call it on board. I don't know why. So like 6 capsules is a full dose. I'm only actually taking 4. I started with 2, and then you take it for a week, and then you add 1, and then you add 1, and you add up to 6. But I'm at 4 right now, because you know, when I was reading all the reviews, some people said they only took 3. But with that, I have seen my energy return. I have seen my focus return. I have seen where, I'm not saying I don't have emotions at all. Like, it's not a drug. But I feel more like me. Like, yes, when I get upset, it's like warranted. Or when I'm sad, it's warranted. You know what I mean? I'm human, but not whatever the heck was going on. And then when I work out, because I started like, first I just didn't work out. Then I started going again, and then I would just lift way less and do way more minimal working out, because it's like, I know I need this, but also I don't know what's going on. And so I feel more normal, like I could lift heavy again, which that's helpful actually. And like, I don't get lightheaded. So whatever nutrients are in those, I don't know, they help in. And then more recently, one of the coaches at my gym told me that actually fatty foods, like eating fattier meats, or even like avocado and oils and stuff like that, that's actually helpful too with brain fog and even like hormonal stuff. So I was eating a lot of chicken and like a lot of chicken breasts, and I've kind of shifted to adding more beef back in. Now, mind you, I wasn't like anti-beef. I just was eating more chicken, you know what I mean? But like adding more, you know, fattier meats like beef and whatever. And then even like, you know, eating more eggs, or even like cheese, or avocado and stuff like that. Oils, just adding butter to, not like doing too much, like whatever, but like have some toast with butter. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that, where maybe I might have skipped out on the butter before. And so that's kind of what I've been doing. I've also heard that creatine is good for muscle restoration and foggy brain. I'm gonna see if I need that. Somebody had told me that before, so I may add that. But there's like, this has been over the course of a year. It was about a year ago that I finally figured out what was going on, after months of just feeling whatever. So it was a year ago that I started kind of on this journey. So like, as I've added each additional thing, it wasn't like boom, 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 boom. It's like, okay, something else is off. What do I need to do to fix it, type thing. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing. That's the update for y'all. Man, it feels good actually to do an episode like this. Haven't done one in a while. We'll get back to these at some point or whatever, or just sprinkle them in, you know what I'm saying, for a little razzle dazzle. I also want to have guests again. No video for right now. I don't like doing videos for the other episodes that are more, I don't know why, I just don't. And then also the thing too is sometimes I just gotta record whenever I can record, like whatever. And then I don't have to worry about, now I got to do my hair. Maybe I wasn't dressed. You know what I mean? I really just don't want to think about those things. I put enough content out there with video, TikToks, Instagram, even on Facebook. So it's kind of like, even on my YouTube channel, there are different videos. So it's like, there's enough content of me out there with me. Is video. I feel like this, I'm good with this being the one that's not that, and that's okay. So yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. As always, take care of yourselves, like mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, all of those things. When one thing is out of whack, it affects the other things, you know what I mean? So take care of yourself, because when you take care of yourself, that's how you can be healthy in your relationships. It's hard for you to be healthy in your relationships when you're not even loving yourself. Like, how are you going to love somebody else? You know what I mean? And so with that, and you may try to, but like your version of love is going to be a little more like warped or distorted if you're not loving yourself in a healthy way. So that's what I have for y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love y'all so much, and I will talk to y'all soon. Bye.